Hey, how's it going? So today on BKRsport, we're going to be getting into some NRL tips. Now, I know that this is, quite late. Obviously, this is quite late in the season, and I'm starting it now. But, yeah. I know the NRL season is basically finishing, and so is the AFL and stuff like that. But, I thought may as well. I watch a lot of sport. You guys know this channel, obviously, we stream every single day our reactions to different games in different sports, whether it be baseball, NRL, AFL, or bloody Premier League, or NFL. We smash it all. So hopefully I can give you guys some kind of help. In saying that, I also did tip Manly to win this year, and anyway guys, we're going to bring these out every single week, so obviously do subscribe if you're new around here, hit that thumbs up button. But let's get into our tips for week number 18 of the NRL season. First up, guys, I just want to say this video isn't going to be full of stats and team lineups and all that kind of stuff. There's plenty of videos out there that can give you all that specific knowledge on who's playing and what's happening and all the stats and shit from previous games. That's not what this is about. This is more about kind of my opinion from what I watch and how I see it, and that's how I go about it. Obviously I do look at team lists and I do look at this kind of stuff, but I'm not going to be sitting here and talking to you specifically stats wise. However, first game, Tigers versus the Rabbitohs at Bankwest Stadium. Now this should be an interesting game. Obviously the Tigers, they're in 9th place right now. That's obviously their favourite position. That's obviously our favourite position for them, so at least it's working well for us. But the Rabbitohs, obviously they've been playing quite well recently. They've been scoring a lot of points, and they did play the Storm last week, and to be fair to you, I didn't actually think that they played too badly. I thought they were quite good in the first half, and unfortunately, the better, more experienced team came over the top of them in the end. And for me, I actually think that really proved a lot for the Rabbitohs. I saw them against Parramatta, and I saw them against, was it Manly? It was Manly, yes. I saw them against Parramatta and Manly, and they won by a lot of points, but I wasn't too convinced, because I'm not too convinced with Parramatta this year, and I'm also definitely not convinced with how Manly's been going. So I was like, I want to see them come up against a big-time team like your Storm, like your Roosters, like your Panthers, and there's still doubts about them, even though I think they're doing fantastic. But I was waiting for the Rabbitohs to play a team that I could really get behind and say, you know what, wow, wait a second, this team is actually ready to go. And I thought that with the Melbourne Storm, I thought the Rabbitohs did play well. Yes, they lost in the end, but I still thought that the Rabbitohs are going to learn. I think the Rabbitohs are going to learn well from that. So as much as I hate to say, oh, they needed a loss, blah, 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 the Rabbitohs have had plenty of losses this season. But as much as I hate to say that they need a loss, I think that was a good loss for them. I really do. I think that was a good loss for them. The Tigers, on the other hand, they can still technically make the 8. Not that they're going to make the 8. The 8 for me is locked down. Obviously, the Sharks there are in 8th, and really, they shouldn't be missing out there. I think they're on top by 4 points right now, and they would need to lose to the Warriors, and then the Warriors would need to win again, and the Sharks would need to lose again, and with the Tigers they need to win every. It's just not. There's just too much that needs to go on. Obviously miracles do happen, but the Tigers, I'm sorry, but this is probably where you're gonna finish. And even if you made the 8, anyone else, look, let's be honest with you guys. There's only 3 teams that really can win this. Oh, 4 teams really, but I don't really. Yeah, look, I'm gonna take Rabbitohs here. I'm going to stop beating around the bush. I'm going to take the Rabbitohs here. I'm going to take them by 14 points. I think they're the better team. I think they're more clinical. I think they've got a really good attack. And I think going forward, they're going to look really good. So I think that Storm loss is going to be good for them. They're going to push forward. Tigers don't really have too much to play for. Really, they were pretty shithouse against Manly until that final 10 minutes. I think it should be an exciting game. We are going to be streaming that one on BKRsport. Next up, guys, we have the Bulldogs going up against Manly. Now, this is a kind of a meaningful game for the Bulldogs. Well, it definitely is a meaningful game for the Bulldogs. They're currently in last place right now, but if they do win, they would jump above the Brisbane Broncos and put the Broncos into last based on for and against. The problem with that is this is the Bulldogs. The problem with that is that the Bulldogs are a shithouse. It's just as simple as that. So, we've been waiting for the Bulldogs to finally win a game, to jump the Broncos. We're like, come on, and it just does not happen. So, they had their final chance against the Titans last week, and even though the Titans didn't play too well, the Titans still won. The Bulldogs have been close in every single game, but they just can't seem to get over that line. They can't seem to actually score. We all know that they're a shocking attacking team. In that attacking 20, they are diabolical. However, they do come up against Manly, and for me, this is their last chance. This is their very last chance to win a game this season. I really don't think they're going to win their last 2 games. I think they play Panthers and I don't know, Panthers and Raiders maybe, something ridiculous like that. I think that's how it goes, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure they have 2 ridiculously hard games to finish off this season. So for me, I think Manly is their last chance. Now, Manly aren't playing too well, obviously. We just saw them concede 14 points in the final 10 minutes against the Tigers. So, that's not great. That's not great. Their season obviously completely derailed, so they're not playing for anything right now. This is a difficult game to predict. It really is. The Bulldogs aren't great. Manly aren't great. Obviously Manly are favourites this game. What I'm going to say is I'm going to go for the Dogs here. we are streaming this game. We're going to be doing this one, but I'm going to take the Dogs, not convincingly, just because I feel like they've been close in every single game. They've been close in every single game that they have lost recently, and they're just that small fraction away from actually getting that victory. They only need one, so this is a meaningful game for them. They need to win this one to avoid the wooden spoon. Obviously, it does rely on the Titans beating the Broncos and, the Cowboys beating the Broncos in the final game of the season, but I don't know. I'm going to take the Dogs here. If it doesn't happen, then, it's an obvious one. I'm just going to take a little bit. I'm going to believe in a team that is playing for a lot more. But yes, Manly should win this game. But I'll take the Bulldogs and I'll take them by 4 points. I think they'll just get over the line. And if they don't, well then, welcome to bloody Wooden Spooner Town, Bulldogs. Friday night action, we have got the Penrith Panthers going up against the Parramatta Eels. Now, this should be a great game. Parramatta haven't been too great this season, in my opinion. Yes, they are in third position right now. But if you look outside of that top 2, you look outside of that top 4, there's really no one. There's really no one here that you genuinely could see winning the premiership. Like, do you see Parramatta win the premiership? I don't. Do you see the Roosters win the premiership? Yes. Do you see the Storm winning? Yes. Panthers winning? Maybe. And they're first place. This season is a really strange one. This season is really strange right now. So I don't really know how to I don't really know how to take Parramatta. Obviously, they've had a couple of wins this season that I would say were a little bit debatable, but you still have to give them the points that they did obviously get. You can't take it away, even though obviously you should be taking away that Manly game's result. In the same sense, you have to say Parramatta have still deserved to be third spot, but their third spot in a season that's just really, really weak. I think this is a really weak season outside of the 3 teams that I believe can possibly win this comp. Panthers, on the other hand, the reason why it's confusing is because no one really knows if they're going to be able to continuously win until the end of the season. Not many teams do that. Teams don't usually do that. I really don't see Panthers winning every single game until the end of the season. They break a number of records, and like the Rabbitohs, they needed that loss. I don't know if Panthers need that loss, but you're kind of feeling tense right now. You're feeling like there's so much pressure. I feel like there's more pressure on them to win than there would be if they lost a game and then they went on to another winning run. I feel like there's more pressure added on now. Like, they've already got the minor premiership. They've already got it. But however, you've also got to think about, in the sense, if they did lose a game, a top 4 team, that could put them backwards going into finals. You know what I mean? That could put them in a position where, they've lost that run of form, and now they're in a bit of a dangerous situation where we lost that form. Not only did we lose that form, we lost it to a competitor, a team that's technically still competing. It's going into finals in 2 weeks' time. So, as much as they have to lose a game, if they lose a game, they could lose all their good work that they've put into this season. They've got a great team. So I'm going to take the Panthers to win here. Wouldn't be surprised if Parramatta did get a sneaky little win. They obviously did win the earlier season matchup. I think it was 16-10. Panthers did lead 10-0 in that game. I think Panthers are a lot better of a team they are now, and Parramatta are probably worse than the team that they were back then. But I'm going to take Panthers 6 points. I'll take Panthers 6 points. I think it'll be a close game, but I think Panthers will just get over the line there. Saturday afternoon, we have the Dragons Raiders. I can tell you this right now, I will not be streaming this game. This game looks like a shithouse. This game dead set. I'm not looking forward to this. The Dragons are not playing good footy right now. The Raiders, they're a good team, but I'm not gonna take apart my Saturday afternoon to watch the Raiders dismantle this Dragons team. Like, this Dragons team, they were being overhyped quite significantly. They fell apart now. This is kind of fair whereabouts they are, and it's just a mediocre season. I guess at the beginning of the season when they hadn't won a game yet, this is actually a successful season in comparison. But no, the Dragons just aren't feeling it right now. Obviously, they've got the new coach. They're in a massive rando situation right now if they got rid of obviously McGregor. But yeah, the Dragons, I don't really see too much coming for the rest of the season. I wouldn't be surprised if they just lost this one and lost this one well. The Raiders, obviously, they're still playing for a top 4 spot basically. So I'm going to take the Raiders in a big one here. I'm going to take the Raiders by 20 points. Oh, well, the next one we've got up is the one we've all been waiting for, folks. The Titans versus the Broncos. Gold Coast Titans, Brisbane Broncos. If you are new to this channel and don't know, I am obviously a Gold Coast Titans fan, so for me, I'm still going to take the Titans here because the Broncos can suck one, but I'm going to say that you need to look at this game a little bit further. You need to look at this game a little bit further than just saying the Titans are playing better and the Broncos are 15th place right now. I'm going to take the Titans. I'm going to throw it out there quickly because you guys know I'm going to tip them. So I'm going to take the Titans here. I'm going to take them by 10 points. However, the reason why this game is a lot harder to predict is because the Broncos have a really good record against the CBAR Super Stadium. I know this. I've been there to watch us live. I've vlogged it. If you want to go and see the vlogs, they're on the channel right now. But I remember losing, 54-0 one time? I remember losing, 36-0 one time? I remember watching 36-12? Yeah, we haven't beaten them in a long time then. We have not beaten them in a long time. Suncorp Stadium is our bitch, yes. Look, Suncorp Stadium is our bitch. But Cbus Super Stadium is not exactly great for us when we go up against the Broncos. Now, in the saying that, this is a completely different team to what we've been seeing in previous years. This team is definitely on an upwards trajectory, and I'm really enjoying the way that the Titans are moving towards. I'm not thinking that we're going to be, I never thought we were going to be doing anything this season. I was thinking about getting all the combinations right for next season, and I feel like that's working. I really do. I feel like that's working. So with the Titans, I'm really enjoying their progress. I'm going to take the Titans to win this one. Would not be surprised if the Broncos did get up, simply because their passion they've been showing recently, probably in the last 3 or 4 weeks, their passion, since that Sharks game actually, I know they lost that Sharks game, but their passion they've been showing for the game and trying to get that win really is second to none. You can see that they're trying. You can see they're trying, but they're just not good enough. And, it's brilliant to watch. As a Titans fan, it's brilliant to watch. And I do think with a full team, it's not as bad as their record suggests. I reckon that their record right now is, yeah, look, it shows that they're bad, and they are bad this year. But I feel like with a full team, they're a lot better than their record suggests. So I'm going to take the Titans. I'll take us by 10 points. We are going to be streaming this game. You can go screw yourself, Broncos fans. Let's move on to the next game. Ooh, it's hot right now. And also, on Saturday night, we have the Roosters going up against the Newcastle Knights. This is an interesting game. Obviously, Roosters are starting to get all their players back. Basically, do have all their players back. The Knights are a bit 50-50 for me this season. I'm going to take the Roosters here really quickly. I'm going to take the Roosters here by about 14 points. I think the Knights are, they're just kind of really 50-50, and this is the type of game that they're going to get walloped in. It could be more. It could be more for the Roosters, to be completely honest with you. This isn't at Newcastle as well. If this was in Newcastle, maybe it might be a little bit closer, but I just feel like Newcastle's defence isn't what it was at the beginning of the season. I thought Newcastle's defence was quite good earlier on in the season, but I think the Roosters are a little bit more of a clinical team. They're going to start to ramp up for the finals a little bit more. They're much more of a clinical team, and they're going to start to ramp up towards the finals. So for me, I'm taking the Roosters here. Convincing over the Knights. Convincing over the Knights. We move on to Sunday's games. We've got the Storm going up against the Cowboys. Easy one for me, guys. I've got the Storm. Now, look, the Cowboys are a fantastic franchise, man. They're a great franchise, but they need to rebuild. They need to rebuild. They need to stop ignoring it. They need to stop ignoring this situation that they've been facing arguably since Jonathan Thurston left this club. And the Cowboys, although they won by 1 point, yeah, whoop-de-doo against the Dragons. The Dragons, they won by 1 point against the Dragons. And people are saying like, oh, no, this team's not as bad. It's like, look, they've had a lot of close games, but you've got to look at this team and be like, wait a second. This is really bland. This isn't the team we're expecting. Congratulations, Valentine. Blah, 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 blah. What do you do, man? I really want to see this Cowboys team do successful. I really want to see this team be better. But right now, they're just not better. And personally, for me, I've been seeing them play some of the worst footy this year. In comparison with the Broncos and the Dogs, I think I would probably put, personally for me, from what I've been seeing recently, I would put the Broncos, with their performances, just that little bit better. I know they beat the Dragons, but in the same sense, I feel like the Broncos have just been a little bit better. But the Bulldogs, I would have to say the Bulldogs are last. I just have to. I can't. You can't move past it. So, obviously the Cowboys are above the Broncos and the Dogs, but I think that those three are in a very similar situation right now. The Cowboys have been making a lot of close games recently. They've been making a lot of close games recently, but every single game is just so dead. It's just so boring, man, for me. And although I want to see this team do successful, right now is not their time. Right now, they need to realise that they need to fix this club from the inside out, and they can't just keep trying to patch up here and there. So I'm taking the Storm. I'm taking it by a significant margin. Finally, guys, Sharks versus the Warriors. Now, Sharks are obviously playing at Cogra here, and it's going to be a pretty good game here between two teams that, well, everyone thinks the Warriors still got a chance. Not that I think. I don't think they do. But the Warriors still technically do have a chance. The Sharks are in 8th spot right now. Warriors need to win to keep that top 8 alive. If they do lose, then I'm pretty sure it's actually officially over. I think it's officially over for everyone, unless the Tigers were to win against the Rabbitohs, but I'm pretty sure it's officially over, and the 8 is locked up if the Sharks win this game, which I do think the Sharks are going to win this game. I feel like without, Chad Townsend, I don't think it's been his year. I don't think this has been his year, and I think that they've been, playing not great footy at all. Attack-wise, they're a much better team. Defense-wise, the Sharks are one of the worst teams in the comp. It's really polar opposite with this team this year. So they can score points and they can concede points. And I feel like with the Warriors, they're not great. They're not a great team, but they can get a performance and they can get a result going. But I'm going to take the Sharkies here. I'm going to take the Sharks to win this game by, I'll take it by 6 points. No, you know what? We'll go by 4 points. I reckon it'll be, no, you know what? I'm actually going to go by the Sharks by a decent margin here. I'm going to go Sharks by a decent margin. I'm going to go Sharks by 12. That's convincing. It's convincing. It's not like outrageous, but it's convincing. So I'll take the Sharks by 12. We are going to to be streaming this game. It's going to be an interesting one. It will be very interesting, considering that the Warriors do need to win this game, and it is their final chance. But I feel like this is the game the Sharks, and the Sharks did flog them a couple of weeks back. You know, they flogged the Warriors a couple of weeks back up there, I think it was at Central Coast. So take the Sharkies here, and hopefully it's a good game. Hopefully it's a close game, and you know, I wouldn't even mind if the Warriors got up. I think everyone's second team this year is the Warriors to see how they go, but no, I'll get rid of the Sharkies here. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. If you did like it, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already, go and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already as well, because obviously we're going to be doing these every single week with NFL, Premier League as well. We've got the NRL, we've got the AFL. They're coming up to a close, but we've got the Premier League and we've got the NFL, obviously. We obviously stream every single day across all different sports, so don't forget, you guys can just jump on here, click on and have a chat. You know, we're always here having a chat about all sport. You can ask whatever questions you want, and I'll probably answer them as long as they're related to the actual game that is currently playing. Please don't come in and ask about, buddy, you know, ping pong in a buddy rugby league stream, please. Or like a, you know, I don't want to talk about AFL in a baseball stream, please. But, you know, I'm always down for a chat, so definitely subscribe if you're new around here, but I will see you guys next time. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Catch you later. See ya.